Hey everyone, it's Hindash. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing kind of the part 3 of my Fenty beauty looks. I'm switching things up a bit with this look, but so excited. And by the way, Timmy hasn't been in my videos recently because I got a new puppy and they're both taking medication for something, so they kind of had to be separate for now. But yeah, you can see more of them on my Instagram. I'll try to make a story or something. But yeah, he's in front of me, but for his comfort, he's gonna stay there. And my model for today is Lana, who you all are familiar with. She's like my sister. Every time I film with Lana, I get so happy because yeah, she basically is like my sister. And we always just have a really good time. So today's look I'm really excited about because I wanted to go really heavy on the eyes, well, heavier. And the whole focus of this look is the Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows in Wine, and I love it. I feel like I haven't really reached for a palette where I've used every single shade and didn't feel like I needed to add something else or kind of remove something. They just all worked perfectly to create a really good color story. And yeah, I love it so much. And if you want to see how to create this look, then please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Alright, so here we are, and this is a very dramatic, bold eye, which honestly I've been wanting to do for a while, for a long time. And I'm going to be starting off with the Fenty Skin Fat Water Pore Refining Toner. And I'm just going to be rubbing that all over the skin. Now, Lana is very dry, so I chose this because it's kind of more like a serum. So I felt like it would be a really nice way to refresh her skin before getting into more serums and moisturizers. And it goes on super light and it sinks in. And I just really like this before makeup. I've been using it quite a lot. Next, I'm going to be taking the Tatcha, the serum stick, and I'm going to be running that over any dry patches that she has. So around the nose, and I'm going to be taking that underneath the eyes as well, kind of acting like a barrier before I do eye cream. And between the brows and forehead, and around the lips. So anywhere where I feel like she would get quite dry. Now I feel like I maybe wouldn't do this step again because something didn't work throughout the entire skincare routine and I got a bit of peeling with all the skincare products. Next, I'm going to be going in with the Milk Makeup Vegan Milk Moisturizer, which I've used so many times and I really love this. It feels very rich but doesn't feel heavy. So I kind of really rely on this when I'm doing makeup on drier skin because I know makeup sits really beautifully on top of this. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, but just, I don't know, just different. This doesn't seem to have any fragrance because I can't smell anything, and I really like this before makeup prep and I've used it quite a lot. So again, I'm just going to be massaging that into the skin and kind of giving her a massage as I go, making her feel very fresh. We shot this at night, so I'm just kind of perking her up again. And taking that down the neck, don't forget the neck. And for a primer, I'm going to be taking the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I really like this primer. It feels very thick and very sticky, but it does a job. I really like how this works underneath makeup. When you first put it on, it feels a bit weird because you feel like you're putting a very gluey, goopy product on, but it wears beautifully throughout the day. And when I first tried this, I got the tiny size and I really liked it. For under eye cream, I'm finishing it off with the Naturium Multi-Peptide Eye Cream, and I'm just going to be patting that on the under eyes. And I'm just going to be taking that underneath the eyes and around the nose, so any dry areas. And I feel like I shouldn't have used the Tatcha one because I kind of created too many layers and barriers, so I would eliminate the Tatcha and just stick to the eye cream. But Lana kept telling me she was extra dry, and I believed her. Now I'm going to be moving on to foundation, and I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longer Foundation in the shade 255. And I'm going to be applying that with this new Sigma brush, which I am loving so much. It is a multitasker brush, so it is made to be used with foundation, with powders, with cream blush, contours, highlights, and I really like the shape. It's very soft, and you guys know I love Sigma brushes, especially for foundation. So I'm going to be applying that in very thin layers, starting from the center of the face, well, kind of the cheeks, and then working my way around the face, taking that down the neck as well, don't forget the neck, and just balancing out the tones in her face to her chest and neck because she is a bit more tanned. And then whatever is left on the brush, I'm going to be taking that on the nose and on the forehead so I eliminate a lot of product buildup in those areas. For a lip balm, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Pro Kisser Luscious Lip Balm in the shade Latte Lips, which is a really nice nude color. And I'm just going to be applying that on the lips and then let it sink in as we do makeup. For concealer, I'm taking a favorite. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer in 3W. And I'm just going to be dotting that on underneath the eyes, around the nose, chin, and kind of highlighting the jawline. And of course, a bit on the nose and forehead. So I'm just brightening everything and giving it a bit more of a lift. And I'm blending that in with a damp beauty blender and just kind of bouncing that on the skin. I don't want to really drag the product because I applied very little. So I want to keep that coverage where I put it. So again, just bouncing that on the skin, very fresh. And because the beauty blender is damp, it's really gonna blend that foundation in with the concealer as well. For an eyeshadow primer, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer and just putting that on the lids and blending it in. And I've actually been really enjoying this primer as a clear primer. You guys know I always use a tinted kind of cream shadow before eyeshadow. But this I love, and I love the NARS one as well. Two of my favorites. And before I do eyeshadow, I'm going to do brows really quickly, and I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP in the shade Black Brown. And I'm just going to be filling the tail of the brow and filling in any sparse areas, which, I mean, Lana has perfect brows, but just fluffing them in. And then sealing everything with the Fenty Beauty Brow Wax and brushing that through. Super easy. Now going in with the eye look, I'm going to be starting with the Fly Pencil in the shade Perpetrator, which is a kind of a deep purple, like an eggplant purple. And I'm going to be creating a outer V, but quite a curved one. So starting off kind of like I'm doing a winged liner, but then taking it right into the crease. So kind of curving that in. And don't worry if this part is kind of a bit messy because I'm going to be smudging that in. And with these pencils, you want to work pretty fast because they are a long wearing gel formula. So once they set, they're not really moving for a while. But again, if you do get a tiny bit of gaps like I do, I'm not too worried because I'm using this as a base and then I'm putting an eyeshadow over it. So whatever gaps we have are going to be kind of covered with eyeshadow. And because I'm working in thin layers, I'm going to be going over that again to kind of go over these gaps and really intensify that color because I'm going to be going in with a very, very dark eyeshadow on top of this. And then just blending that in with a pencil brush and going in directly with the pencil if you want to add more product on the pencil brush and just smudging that in. So really this is kind of a pre-eyeshadow step. Next, I'm going to be taking the Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows in the shade 9 Wine, which is a beautiful palette. Honestly, this is, I think, my favorite Fenty Beauty palette because it is such a cohesive palette. And I'm taking the super dark shade in it and then going over that eyeshadow work that we did with the pencil. And as you can see, it's a super dark shade, but once we lay it on top of this, you get to see more dimension and you get to see like a purpley reddish wine tone, which I really love, and this really excited me to kind of go really heavy on the eyes. And please don't tell me this is not heavy, because every time I try to do a heavy look, someone says it's like really wearable. I mean, it has to be wearable, which is obviously this is what I want it to be, but let's just admit that it's a heavy look. I'm taking that lighter cream shade in the palette and going into the inner corner of the crease and just smudging and blending that in to diffuse any edges and very lightly on the brow bone. So right underneath the brow bone, but this isn't going to be my complete blending color. I'm taking that tan color and that's what I'm going to be using to blend that really dark wine purple color. And I feel like this really keeps the warmth of that really dark wine color, but also intensifies it and enhances it and blends it out. Now I'm going to go back and forth and going back to that deep burgundy wine color and intensifying where I feel like anything got smudged. My favorite part is taking that really rosy shimmer color and putting that kind of as an eyeliner. So I'm using this as eyeliner, but not going all the way out, keeping it on the center of the lid and taking it all the way to the inner corner very thinly. So it kind of gradually becomes really thick and blends out to that really deep, dark purple. And taking that light cream again and just tapping it on the lid to make sure everything is nice and crisp because I really want that contrast. So I want the lids to be very light, very matte, and I want the eyeliners to be shimmery and then blends into a deep matte purple. I'm taking a smaller blending brush and taking that dark matte purple and just kind of stamping it on and making sure I get a really crisp, precise edge. And then taking that light shimmery champagne shade and putting it on the inner corner on the tear duct. So beautiful. Once I zoom in, you'll get to see it. Then I'm taking that matte tan brown shade and putting it on the outer corner on the lower lash line and blending that in and kind of softly diffusing it all the way in. I'm kind of building my way up around how dramatic I want this to go. And taking that really deep purple and connecting it to the lower lash line, from the lower lash line to the outer corner basically, just to give us a unified depth. And very lightly, I'm going to wiggle my brush in there to give me dimension. I'm going to be applying the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara on her lashes and taking the new Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara in the shade Miss Merlot, which is a burgundy mascara, and putting that on the lower lash line. Now, you're not going to be able to really tell on camera, but in person, it gives a nice dimension because her lashes don't look super crazy underneath, but they do have that burgundy tint. Alright, eyes are done and I'm going to be moving on to the rest of the face, and I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Mocha. Matchsticks are my favorite, I say that all the time. And I'm going to be contouring her face because I want to go glam. I really want to go glam with Lana today. So taking that on the cheekbones, on the nose, the chin, the forehead, the lips, and blending that in with my Fenty Beauty bronzer brush, which I love to blend in creams with. So just really take your time and blend that bronzer contour into the foundation. And I really love contouring on Lana's face. I feel like it really brings out her best features. For blush, I'm going to be taking the MAC Glow Play blush in the shade So Natural. If you guys haven't tried these blushes, they are one of my favorite kind of cream to powder blushes. They're such a beautiful texture. I highly recommend you go out and try them, at least in the MAC store, because they're beautiful. And I'm going to be topping that off with the MAC Mineralized blush in the shade Warm Soul. And you guys know I love to set kind of a creamy blush with a powder, even though that one is a cream to powder, but this one has more of a highlighty glow to it. And setting her face very lightly with the NARS Translucent Crystal Setting Powder, which I think is very thin and is perfect for someone who doesn't want to wear powder, but just wants to set the makeup and have it really not look cakey, not look like you're wearing any powder at all. And this trick, I think, is a very special trick to my heart, and you have to try it. So basically, take an eyebrow pencil that is made for redheads. Fenty Beauty make a great one, and that's the one I'm using now in the shade True Red. But I think it'll work with any redhead type of a brow pencil. Use that to contour and line your lips. You'll be amazed. It has that nude reddish undertone, but it also has that neutral taupiness because it is made for brows. It is really gonna contour your lips to perfection. Try it, please try it and let me know. And because I want to keep it really nude and keep the lip liner kind of the star of the show, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Stunner Lip Paint in the shade Unbutton, which is a very caramelly nude color, and just putting that with a brush on the center of the lips. So I don't want it to look heavy, I want it to look kind of like a blotted, super nude matte lip. And again, keeping the lip liner the focus. You can leave it fully matte, but I'm going for a bit of gloss, and I'm taking the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Glass Slipper, which is a clear gloss, and putting that over the entire lip, which I think is such a good lip combo. I'm going to be using this lip combo so many times because I think it just looks amazing. I'm going to be doing a tiny bit of highlighter with the Fenty Beauty Highlight. You know, this one is my favorite, the Mean Money and Hustle Baby. So just a bit on the nose, the chin, and the cheekbones. And that completes the look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this really intense wine eyeshadow look. It is one of my favorites. I've really enjoyed doing this. And let me know if you want to see more dramatic looks, because now I kind of feel inspired to do more dramatic looks. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.